Welcome to today's deep dive. I'm your host.
And I'm your resident expert, ready to get into it.
So to start things off, I want you, the listener, to do a quick mental audit right now.
Just a quick one.
Right. Visualize the screen of your smartphone. Just picture it. You've probably got a calendar app that dictates exactly where you need to be every hour of the day.
Oh, absolutely.
You've got a banking app tracking every single cent you spend on coffee, maybe a fitness tracker counting your steps, a calorie counter.
A sleep tracker monitoring your REM cycles. Right?
Exactly. We manage our time, our money, and our biology with this incredible, almost obsessive intentionality.
We really live in the era of optimization. I mean, if we can measure it, we try to manage it.
We optimize everything to the nth degree. But let me ask you this, and be honest with yourself here. When was the last time you managed your relationship with that same level of focus?
Oh, that's a tough question for a lot of people.
It is. And I don't mean just, remembering an anniversary or planning a date night once a month. I mean actually tracking the health of the partnership, looking at the metrics and optimizing the performance.
It's a striking contradiction, isn't it?
Yeah.
We often treat our most significant relationships, like our marriages, our long-term partnerships, like background apps.
Background apps, yes.
That's
the perfect way to put it.
Right, we just assume they'll keep running smoothly in the background while we focus on the foreground tasks. Work, parenting, life admin. We ignore the updates, we ignore the maintenance until...
When the app crashes.
Exactly, until the app crashes.
And when a relationship crashes, it's usually a lot more catastrophic than losing your step count for the day, which is the perfect setup for today's deep dive.
It really is.
We are looking at a platform called IAM Love Builders. And having gone through all the source material we have today, I can tell you this isn't just a dating site.
No, not at all.
And it's not just a directory for marriage counselors either. They actually describe themselves as a love hub.
Love hub is an interesting term. It implies a centralized ecosystem. And looking at the sheer volume of what they offer, from TV shows to quizzes to luxury travel, that seems to be exactly what they're building.
Right.
They're trying to create a comprehensive infrastructure for relationship health.
Right.
Rather than just a Band-Aid for when things go wrong.
It really is massive. But here's the hook that got me immediately. You know how I love a good sports analogy.
Oh, I am painfully aware.
Okay, well, bear with me because this platform is built entirely around sports terminology. It's baked right into their DNA.
Yeah.
But they've twisted the acronyms in a way I actually really like.
Okay.
MVP, right? Usually that's most valuable player. LeBron, Brady, whoever. But here, it stands for most valuable partner.
That's actually a very clever reframe. Think about what most valuable player implies in a traditional sense.
Individual glory.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about being the star, the one with the stats.
Yeah.
By shifting it to most valuable partner, you're shifting the metric of success from individual performance to contribution. It asks, how much value are you adding to the team? It completely changes the dynamic from competition to collaboration.
That's the core philosophy here. But before we get carried away with the sports metaphors, and trust me, there are a lot of them, we're going to see terms like champions and coaching.
Lots of them.
Right. But we need to establish the foundation first. The IAM Love Builders mission statement is quite specific about where they're coming from. The source material describes the platform as explicitly God-centered.
Right. And we should be clear about that up front. They aren't hiding it at all.
No, it's right there.
Their stated goal is to create marriage and relationship champions through a biblical lens. And look, whether that aligns with your personal worldview or not, it's important to understand that this is the framework they're operating within.
Absolutely.
They view relationship health not just as a social skill or a psychological state, but as a spiritual discipline.
They're combining education, community, and coaching to achieve what they call champions. I really love that framing. It implies that good relationship isn't just something you have, like, oh, we're lucky we get along.
Right.
It's something you win at through training.
It changes the locus of control.
Yeah.
You don't just fall out of love. You stop training. You start practicing. It empowers the couple to take actual action.
So let's unpack this love hub, because what blew my mind was the sheer structure of it. It's not just one thing. It's a ladder. It seems designed to take you from curious to committed to elite.
A ladder is a great way to visualize it.
Yeah.
It meets people exactly where they are, both structurally and financially. You don't have to jump straight into the deep end.
Let's start at the bottom rung, or I guess the foundation. Segment 1, the free tier. Now, usually, free in these kinds of apps is a trap.
Oh, totally.
You get to look at the menu, but you can't order anything. Or you get hit with ads every 30 seconds. But looking at the sources, the MVP Love Hub free level looks surprisingly robust.
It is surprisingly comprehensive. And what stands out to me here is the focus on accessibility. It's not just for couples in crisis.
Right.
In fact, the way they position the free tier suggests they're trying to catch people before the crisis.
Yeah.
They want to normalize relationship education as a daily habit.
Oh, totally. I was reading through the testimonials, and one really stuck out to me because it defied my expectations of who uses these sites. There's a user named Lisa Rodriguez from Miami.
Okay.
She wasn't even in a relationship when she joined.
That's a crucial detail. Lisa used the program as a single person to prepare for a future relationship.
Yeah.
She talks about using the assessments to understand herself better so she could date with intention. That flips the script on the idea that you only go to a relationship site when your marriage is on the rocks.
It's like going to the gym in the off-season. You're getting ready for the game before it starts. And then on the flip side, you have Amanda Foster from Chicago. She's a newly divorced mom.
Right, I saw that one.
She mentioned using the community to rebuild her confidence. So it's really pitching itself as a tool for the entire life cycle of love, not just the happily married part.
And looking at the feature list for the free tier, it is extensive. You have access to the community, which Amanda found so valuable, but also ebooks, love assessments, quizzes, and something they call a live weekly show.
And TV show access. They have exclusive TV content available right there in the free tier. It feels like they're trying to be the Netflix of relationship advice.
It's a content-first strategy. Think about the barrier to entry for therapy.
It's huge.
It's high. It's expensive. It's scary. You have to make an appointment. You have to admit something is wrong.
Yeah.
By giving away the TV show access and the ebooks library, they're establishing authority before asking for a dime. They're normalizing the conversation. You watch a show, you take a quiz. It feels low stakes.
It feels like entertainment, but you're actually learning. But, of course, this is a business. There is a step up. And this is where it gets really interesting to me, specifically the pricing psychology. The next level is called MVP Lite. And the price, $19.97.
Per month.
No, per year. That's like less than $2 a month. That's less than one fancy coffee a year.
That price point is fascinating psychologically. $19.97 per year is what we call a micropayment or a tripwire in marketing.
A tripwire.
Yeah, it's low enough to be a no-brainer impulse buy. It's pocket change. But structurally, it is infinitely more significant than free.
How so? I mean, if it's so cheap, why bother charging at all? Why not just keep it free?
Because the moment you pull out your credit card, even for $1, the nature of your engagement changes. You are no longer a user, you are a customer. You have skin in the game. You're signaling to yourself, I am willing to invest, even if it's a small amount, into this aspect of my life. It filters out the looky-loos from the people who are actually willing to do a little bit of work. It's a commitment device.
So what does your $20 get you, aside from the feeling of being a customer?
Well, according to the sources, the late tier is for couples continuing their journey. The key additions here are group love assessments reviews and a video training library.
It's the group part that catches my eye. In the free tier, you're kind of consuming content on your own. You're watching the show, reading the ebook in isolation. In the light tier, with group reviews, you're starting to get feedback. You get discounts on monthly online workshops, too.
It's the first step from passive consumption to active participation. You're moving from the stands onto the field to keep your sports analogy going. You're watching the game film with other people now.
Okay, so you've dipped your toe in, you've spent your $20, you've watched the videos, now you want to get serious. Let's talk about segment 2. The premium and champion tiers, because this is where the coach analogy really starts to kick in.
The MVP premium tier jumps to $49.97 per year. Still very affordable relative to traditional therapy.
Yeah, a single therapy session can run $150 to $200.
Exactly, so it's a clear step up from the light version, but still accessible. They define this group as serious love builders.
And here is where you get the personalized love assessments, not just the generic ones. Plus, access to group coaching sessions and the 7 Keys video series.
The personalization is the key differentiator here. In the lower tiers, you're getting general advice. Communication is good, be kind, that sort of thing.
Right.
At the premium level, the system starts looking at you specifically. It's the difference between reading a general book about fitness and having someone look at your actual form and say, hey, your posture is off.
Also, they include retreat early bird access. That's a clever little perk. It signals that there is a physical world component to this, which we'll get to later. But if you're in premium, you're already thinking about maybe going to an event. You're planning for the future.
Exactly. It's building a funnel toward higher engagement.
Yeah.
But the real shift, the moment where the platform asks for a lifestyle change, is the next tier, MVP champion.
Oh, I saw this. The pricing structure completely changes here. Everything before was per year. MVP champion, $97 per month.
Which is roughly $120 a year.
Yeah.
So you've more than doubled the cost of the premium tier. Why? What is the value proposition for that jump?
It's the killer at feature, in my opinion. 24/7 MVP coaching support via text and email.
That is significant.
Think about it. You're in an argument with your partner. It's 9 p.m. on a Tuesday. You can't call a therapist. Their office is closed. You can't call your mom. She'll take your side and hate your husband forever.
True.
But apparently, as an MVP champion, you can text a coach. Help, I'm about to say something I'll regret.
Having a coach in your pocket changes the dynamic entirely. It moves the intervention from schedule to real time. And for a lot of relationships, that's where the battles are lost. In the heat of the moment. We call this the refractory period in psychology, the time it takes to calm down after a trigger. If you have a third party you can text, it interrupts the escalation cycle. It forces you to pause, pick up the phone, and type. That act alone can de-escalate the situation.
They also throw in a personalized relationship plan and access to the Champion Online Summit videos and a 50% discount on all books. But really, it's that continuous access that screams mastery to me.
It aligns with the tier name. Champion. In sports, champions don't just practice once a week, they have constant feedback loops. This tier attempts to replicate that for a marriage.
Yeah.
It's saying, we're going to work on this continuously. It treats the relationship as a living, breathing thing that needs constant nutrition, not just a yearly checkup.
So we've gone from free to light to premium to champion. We've gone from $0 to $120 a year. But what if you need, I don't know, emergency surgery? Or what if you want to win the Super Bowl of relationships? This leads us to segment 3, the deep work.
Yes, the a la carte and premier options. This is where the digital hub transitions into intense human-to-human intervention.
Let's start with the coaching. You can just buy it by the hour, $150 per hour.
Which is fairly standard for specialized coaching. Yeah. But note the offer. The first 30 minutes are free.
A try before you buy model. I like that. But look at the specific goals they list for this coaching. It's not just chat about your feelings. They list divorce-proofing, reigniting the spark, and enhancing private intimacy.
Divorce-proofing is a very strong phrase. It suggests a preventative, almost structural approach to relationship counseling. It's not, let's fix what's broken. It's, let's reinforce the walls so nothing can break. They also list mastering communication and regaining playful spirit. It's very outcome-oriented. It's coaching, not just venting.
Okay, but are you ready for the whoa moment? Because I read this part of the source material 3 times to make sure I wasn't hallucinating.
You are referring to the MVP Premier Tier.
The MVP Premier Tier. This is explicitly labeled for, and I quote, high-income earners, and it's limited to only 6 to 8 couples per year.
This is the exclusivity factor. We move from a scalable digital product to a bespoke luxury experience.
It's a 5-day, one-on-one intensive immersion. But listen to the logistics. This isn't a workshop in a hotel ballroom with fluorescent lights and bad coffee. All-inclusive, door-to-door chartered travel. You pick one of 4 exclusive resort locations.
It removes all the friction.
And the details. They specify Uber Black level local travel. Gourmet meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and my personal favorite, one daytime shopping trip in town on us.
It sounds extravagant, and it is, but if we connect this to the bigger picture, think about what they're doing. They're taking a couple out of their environment entirely.
Yeah.
No kids, no work, no driving, no decision fatigue about what's for dinner. Even the shopping, which is often a source of financial stress or guilt in a marriage, is paid for.
So you can focus 100% on the relationship.
Exactly. It's an environment design strategy. If you want to radically reshape a dynamic, sometimes you have to completely remove the couple from the stressors that created that dynamic.
That makes a lot of sense.
If you're fighting about chores and money at home, and you go to a place where there are no chores and money is taken care of, you can finally see the person again. They call it the ultimate relationship plan. And frankly, for 5 days of 247 immersion training plus luxury travel, it's a massive intervention.
It's like relationship boot camp, but you're sleeping in 1,000 thread count sheets.
A fair summary. But it raises the question of accessibility versus necessity. Is this necessary? No. Is it effective? Well, removing stress usually makes people nicer to each other.
Right.
But the core work still has to happen. You can't just enjoy the vacation. You have to do the immersion work.
And whether it's the $20 app or the chartered luxury trip, the question remains, does any of this actually work? Is IAM Love Builders actually building love or just selling hope?
That brings us to segment 4, proof of concept, because they do throw some numbers at us.
They do. The platform reports an average rating of 4.9 out of 5.
Which is impressive, assuming it's an aggregate of verified users. And listen to these stats. 97% report improved communication. 92% feel more connected. And they claim to have served over 1,000 couples.
Those are high percentages, but improved communication is the one that catches my eye.
It's the foundational metric. If you can fix the communication channel, you can usually fix the other problems. That 97% suggests that the tools, the quizzes, the assessments are effective at simply getting people to talk. It gives them a language.
The stories bring it to life, though. We talked about the single person and the divorcee earlier, but what about the long haulers? There's David and Emma Chen from Seattle, married 15 years.
The danger zone of complacency.
Right. You know that phase. The kids are maybe getting older, the career's stable, and you just kind of drift. They said they thought they knew everything about each other. But the Champion program, that's the monthly one with the coach, proved them wrong and reignited the spark.
That's the game film concept again. You think you know how you play. You think you know your partner's moves. But when you watch the tape or take the assessment, you see the patterns you missed.
Yeah.
You realize, oh, I didn't know you felt that way about finances, or I didn't realize my tone was hurting you. It breaks the assumption that we're fine.
Then there's Sarah and Mike Johnson from Denver. They went from barely communicating to being best friends again. That's a huge shift. That's saving a marriage.
And we shouldn't overlook the skeptics. Jennifer and Tom Baker from Portland. They explicitly said they were skeptical of online relationship programs.
Which, to be fair, is a completely reasonable stance. There's a lot of snake oil out there, a lot of magic pills for love.
Completely reasonable.
Okay.
But they cite the professional TV show content and the workshops as the thing that changed their minds. It speaks to the production value. If the content looks professional, it builds trust. If it looks like a cheap YouTube vlog, you assume the advice is cheap too.
Yeah.
But because the ecosystem is so polished, the TV show, the summits, it signals authority.
So when you look at all of this, from the free quizzes to the luxury shopping trips, what is the big takeaway here? What are they actually selling?
I think they're selling intentionality structure.
Intentionality structure. Break that down for me.
Relationships are amorphous. They're messy. They're emotional. They don't have clear edges. IAM Love Builders is trying to put a grid over that mess. They're gamifying it with the MVP concept, structuring it with tiers, and supporting it with community.
Right.
They're taking the vague goal of have a good marriage and turning it into a to-do list you could actually check off.
It's moving from I hope we stay happy to here is the plan to stay happy.
Exactly. And the testimonials suggest that for many people, simply having that structure, knowing what the play is enough to break the stagnation. It gives you permission to work on your relationship without feeling like a failure.
It's interesting. We started this by talking about apps, and in a way, they've successfully applied the app logic to the heart. Use the free version, upgrade if you like it, subscribe for the best features.
It's the gamification of intimacy. And while that sounds unromantic, if it works, it works.
So here's where we leave you, listener. And I want to go back to that opening thought.
The background app.
Right. If you treated your relationship like a sport or a skill that you had to master, where would you be right now? Are you an amateur just showing up and hoping for the best?
Or are you ready to study the film, hire the coach, and do the drills?
The platform asks, are you ready to become a most valuable partner? And honestly, whether you sign up for their site or just take that mindset into your dinner conversation tonight, it's a question worth asking. What new plays can you run tomorrow?
It certainly is. Sometimes the most valuable thing you can do is just decide to start playing the game for real.
Thanks for diving deep with us. We'll see you next time.